Hi, it's Heather from Heather's Dog School. I'm going to go over quickly what USDA is all about and how to enter the trial. So let's go to our home. First things, I'll show you how to register your dog and stuff in a moment. But first, I just want to talk about competing. When you go to enter, there's going to be two different things, titling and tournaments. Titling is what most of us are used to in terms of you go from a progression from a beginner level on up. And in USDA, they call it starters, advanced, and masters. You can enter any of these that you want to. Even if you're novice in some other venue or organization, they don't care. If you think you can do the master's courses, enter the master's level. One thing to note is if you can move around from starters to advanced to masters and back and forth until you receive a title. So if I enter this trial in masters and I don't earn a title, don't have my master's title, my very next trial I enter, I could go back to starters if I wanted to. And you can skip around. But once you have a title, say I do decide to stick out a few trials and starters and I earn my starters title, I cannot go back up to masters. I have to go on to advanced and I can't stay in starters. So just something to think about. Starters does have the table. They're pretty straightforward, easy courses. So if you want to avoid the table, I would recommend perhaps entering masters. So just food for thought there. Some other things to think about is that what courses they have in these titling. You've got your regular agility, standard agility. You have gamblers, which is very similar to UKI. Jumpers, of course, which is jumping and weaves. Snooker, again, very similar to UKI snooker. And then there's relay. Relay is usually 2 dogs, and I think it can be 3. This is not part of the team event that we'll talk about in a minute, but this is just a relay. We're going to have 2 rounds of relay on Saturday, so you can sign up for both. And when you enter relay, it can be any jump height. You could have different, whether you're champion or select or preferred, whatever it is that your dog, what you normally call it, you can jump anything. And you enter that information in the thing. So just so you know, that is titling. The other thing is tournaments. So if you're used to doing UKI, you can think of tournaments as like master series. Anybody could enter it. And UKI, if you are a beginner level and you're just starting to compete in agility, you can enter master series. It's a level playing field. So anyone can enter it. The courses are going to be a little bit harder than probably the master's level, but anyone can enter them. And we're going to have a few tournaments at our event. Grand Prix of Dog Agility is just a basic agility course. You have to run clean to get a Q, and I'm being course time. Steeplechase is super fun. Steeplechase is an irregular agility course without the dog walk, and you will either see 2 A-frames in the course or 2 weave poles. It's not like 2 sets of weave poles, but you will at some point double back and take that obstacle a second time, and that depends on the judge's design. We are not doing team at our particular event, but team has 3 different components to it. Everybody on the team will run a jumping course and a regular agility course. And then the team together will do a relay, and you can do 2-dog or 3-dog relay. And that is one of the tournaments. We will not be doing that at our event. It's the only tournament we're not offering. The last one is biathlon, which we will be offering. And this is a combined score of a jumping run and a standard agility run. So this is probably the one that's most like Master Series in UKI, if you wanted to compare one. And probably of all the courses that you will see in USDAA, biathlon is going to be the hardest type of course. Okay, so now that we've got that down, we're going to go ahead and enter a course. Or enter a trial, I should say. So before you go to compete, you will want to go to, I want to get you here. Hold on, let's go back to here. Just so you can see where you're going to USDAA. All right, so now you're back on the main page. You will want to first register a dog. Click here. This is pretty straightforward. This is skipping to entering a new dog because I'm already logged into my account, but this is where you're going to put a bunch of your information in. You click continue, and then you can add a dog. And I don't know exactly how much it costs offhand, but somewhere between $30 and $40. You only pay a one-time fee. You never have to pay it again. There's no yearly membership or anything like that. That's it. Once you've registered you and your dog, you will want to go to my account, and that's where you're going to see your dogs. You can see my 3 dogs. You can enter an event right from here, but you can also go to compete and go over to the event calendar and enter from here. You just scroll down, and that clicking that other link takes you to the same place. So here's our trial, Heather's Dog School. This is all your trial information broken up into bits if you just want to read all the information individually. If you want to see all the information in one document, you can go to here, print event details. This is like your event premium, but they call it a test schedule. So this has got all the information. This is a good place to check and see what jump height your dog will be. And like I mentioned before, there's championship and performance, which is like select or preferred if you want your dog to jump a lower jump height. And USDA also has something that some other venues don't have. They allow a veteran jump height. So if my dog, say I got a big golden retriever and he measures to jump 24 inches, but he's over, I forget what it is. You have to go and read it, but I think the dogs have to be 7 years old. And he could jump as low as 16. So if you're championship, you will be entering starters, advanced, or masters. If you are jumping your performance jump height, you will be entering level 1, 2, or 3. So level 1 is obviously starters, advanced is level 2, and masters is level 3. That is one thing that I think is confusing at first. So just so you know what that is, because when you go to the schedule, you can see there's like a ton of gamblers runs, but starters and levels 1 run the same course, level 2 and advanced run the same course, and so on and so forth. So just so that you know what you're entering. And then again, doesn't matter if you've entered starter for the titling and you want to enter Grand Prix, you can. And then when you enter the pairs relay, you want your teammate's dog's name and USDAA number. You will need those when you go to enter the trial. And there's 2 runs. And it says championship performance here because you can have 2 teammates. One is jumping at their championship jump height, and the other is a performance jump height, and does not need to be the same. You could have an 8-inch dog and a 24-inch dog, or you could have a 20-inch performance dog and a championship 12-inch dog, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can enter that. And there's just 2 rounds, and it will be the same course. So if you enter both with the same team, you will just switch which dog jumps which part of the relay, the beginning or the end part. So that's what the combined pairs relay is. Then, yeah, and Grand Prix. We already talked about what Grand Prix is. And then we have the other tournaments on Sunday. So that's the scoop about that. Then if you want to enter, you can click here, print out a PDF form, fill it out, mail it in with your check. Or you can, which I think is much easier, is fill out the electronic entry form. If you're going to fill this out, just so you know, you have to enter a dog over here on the upper left-hand corner. When I first did this, my attention just immediately went to the center where you can see you enter stuff. And I'm like, why can't I pick a jump height? Because I didn't pick a dog. So I'm going to pick a dog. I'm going to pick Buttercup. And then I'm going to pick championship. And she's going to jump 8. And she's not going to enter in everything, but she'll probably do a few things. She's going to do standard agility and jumping. And let's see, she might do that the second day as well. I'm going to put her in masters. You can do NFC, FEO, whatever you want to call it, for all the runs. So that's just day 1 and day 2 for titling. Then if you want to enter tournaments, you have to toggle over to the tournament classes. You got day 1 here. I am probably going to just enter her in steeplechase on the second day. So I click that. And then when I'm done, I got to pick my jump height for tournaments as well. And then I'm going to hit preview. I could hit save, but let's make sure I've got everything right here. That's what I've entered her in. Now, make sure you read this. Entry is not valid until payment is received. So you need to print out this form. You could email it to the secretary, but you will still have to pay her. So the easiest way is to print this out and mail in your check with the printed copy. And you can just print this page, you can save. Good. And then if I want to print a copy, I just click here. So I know that I'm in. Okay. What's it doing? All right, now if I wanted to enter another dog, I will go back here. And you can see that I am entered with Buttercup. Okay. So pretending I printed that out, all ready to mail. I want to add another dog. Then I'm going to enter event again and add in my second dog. So that's just how it goes. If you need other information, let's see. Hotels that accept dogs, parks and RVs. Unfortunately, we don't have any room for RV parking at our property. We may be able to do that in the future, but that's the scoop. I don't think you need to know anything else. If you have questions about USDAA rules, you can ask me, but Helen here, Helen McNinley, is the one to ask. And her information, I believe her email is here. It should be here. Yes. Oh, yep, there it is. So trial secretary at dognutmom.com. So another thing to note, dognutmom.com is our trial secretary's website. She will be posting the trial maps there on the day of the competition. We won't be printing them out. So that's where you can get those. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on August 1st.